good, everybody? Boys and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm your host for VJ. Say what I said, VJ Vernon Huskey, the Big Vanilla Funny, Big Vanilla Poppy, here right now on a beautiful early Saturday morning in Los Angeles on Infinity Television. Great show for you guys lined up today. We'll get into Conference Championship Sunday coming up, man. This is all football. I was going through my notes and trying to find some other stuff to talk about, but when you get to this point in the calendar in football, when you get to this moment, it's all about football. This is the game. This is the weekend that leads up to the game. The game that if you ever played the sport of football, you all dreamed about playing in. If you ever rooted for a team, you all root for them to get to this point so that you have a glimmer of hope that on Super Bowl Sunday, when you're buying all your snacks, you're making your charcuterie plates, you're out on the grill, you got your burgers, your dogs, whether you're doing a taco spread, whether you're a vegan and you got your eggplant, your vegan burgers out on the grill, are you making your salad, are you doing crab legs and shrimp boil or fried fish, whatever you're doing on that Super Bowl Sunday, it's got to feel so much better when it's your team. I've never experienced that. I did when I was a kid, so I didn't do anything. I didn't cook nothing. I just went and watched the game in the living room with my mom and my father and my brothers at the time. But this is the weekend, man, that you either make your legacy or your legacy takes a hit. So we got plenty of that across the board for Conference Championship Sunday. We have the Lions going to be on the road at the Niners, and then we have the Chiefs with the Ravens. We will talk some NFL coaching changes that have happened as of recent too, man. So I'm really proud to see how the NFL, I guess, is changing a little bit, I guess. But as always, let's get into our word of the day, as we always do here on VJ Say What I Said. And we like to do word of the day because I like to take a word, apply it to life, and then we're going to apply it to sports, and that's going to be the theme of the show. So this week's word of the day is culture. And that's because in the NFL, I'm a big, big proponent for I don't care who your quarterback is. I don't care who your running back is. I don't care who your all-pro safety is, who your all-pro Pro Bowl defensive lineman, how cute your uniforms are, how good your cheerleaders look. I don't care about any of that. The first thing I want to know about is a team's culture. It's the first thing I want to know about. Even in my life as an adult, if I pick a friend or a group of people to hang out with, I have to know the culture, even the business. Each and every one of you watching this, think about the culture of your job. There's a certain culture that's there. There's a culture there where the boss may not take no you know what, and everybody's got to be on time, and everything is buttoned up and everything is micromanaging. That's the culture. So you're going to breed things from the culture. Now, the good thing about culture and the bad thing about culture is sometimes culture works. And sometimes culture doesn't, but everything has a culture. If you think about inside your home, everybody's home has a culture. Either mom is the disciplinarian or dad is the disciplinarian. You can't have two fun parents or your kids are going to run wild. One kid is the quiet one kid's the loud one. You eat dinner at a certain time. You're not allowed to have phones at the table. There's a culture. Whatever is going on in your home, there's a culture in your life. There's a culture in home. There's a culture at work. There's even a culture in society. There's something that we call pop culture, that we call music culture, that we call entertainment culture. Culture is everywhere you look, but culture can either be bad or be good, but it's still culture. In sports, you got to have great culture from the top down to the bottom. Just like in your home, you got to have great culture from the top to your bottom. Whenever I'm in public and I see kids acting out or kids acting what we would perceive as being bad or what have you, I don't look at the kids. I'm finding the parents. This is the culture that you've created. You allow your kid to run through the store grabbing stuff off the shelves or talking back or screaming and crying because they can't get the goldfish or they can't get the fruit roll-ups or the cereal that they want. That's the culture that you created. He's just only reacted to the culture that he's been raised in. Just like in sports, you create a certain culture, like the NBA right now has a culture of coach firing, getting coach fired. The Milwaukee Bucks fired their coach, Adrian Griffin. He's 31-13, is the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference Final. But because there is some type of thing about the culture fit and Damian Lillard, who I told you guys, I warned you guys about Dame Lillard. I warned you about Dame Lillard. It looks all good in Portland. Looks all good when you're not winning. You can go ahead and kind of hog the glory and hit big shots and, carry your team as far as your team will be carried as far as you take them. You can get away with that in cities like Portland, teams like that, franchises like Portland. You move somewhere else where now you're expected to win. Yeah, culture shock, right? Yeah, there's that word, culture shock. But they've created a culture in the NBA where guys don't have to listen to coaches. I'd be terrified to coach in the NBA today. When a kid can get me fired. The Atlanta Hawks fired Nate McMillan, who all he was a perennial first team, second team, all NBA defender. Battled Jordan in the finals, battled Magic and the Lakers in the Western Conference, Barkley and his teams in the Western Conference, Stockton Malone in the Western Conference, like all his career. Nate McMillan with the Supersonics and with the Portland Trailblazers was a bona fide NBA player and was a really good coach and had that team in the Eastern Conference Finals. You fired him because the players were telling you he's too tough or his coaching style. He was trying to implement a culture of winning, a culture of consistency. When he was coaching other players, other places, why was his teams always in the playoffs? Pretty much always in the playoffs because of the culture that he created. He was trying to give that to Atlanta. Atlanta didn't want that. We have this culture now where in the NBA, kids can get these grown men, and they're all grown men, but as far as basketball life goes, they're not. They're still kids. You're just playing. I played for 13, 14 years, and I retired 15 years ago, or 10 years ago, 12 years ago, right? That would be the difference in somebody coaching now as opposed to their playing career. Tell me how well Atlanta's doing right now with Quinn Snyder as their head coach. What culture did he bring in? He didn't. What culture did he have in Utah? He did. What culture did he have in college? He didn't. Is he a good basketball guy? Is he a smart basketball guy? Probably so. I don't know. I've never played for him. But I do know that there's not a culture that follows him. There's a culture that follows Nate McMillan. There's a culture that's followed the NBA. And now we move on to NFL coaching. There's a gentleman that's, I am really, really surprised to hear the outcry that I hear about Bill Belichick pretty much being told, no thank you, by the Atlanta Falcons, who hired Raheem Morris, who was a head coach before in this league, been a great top coordinator in this league for years, deserved another opportunity to get to a better team, a better franchise, a better situation. I'm not sure how much better Atlanta is from when he had the Bucks, but he's back in the same division he was in before. He'll be with the Bucks, was with the Bucks, but will be with the Atlanta Hawks now. The Atlanta Hawks, the Atlanta Falcons. But there's a culture that Bill Belichick kind of carries with him that worked because you had Tom Brady and you were tucked away up in the Northeast. I used to live out there. I know. You were tucked away up in the Northeast. It was able for you to hide. It was easy for him to be able to hide and keep this Patriot way thing so hush-hush and so quiet. And no one can have fun and no one can say anything and no one can enjoy themselves or celebrate or show up because there's the Patriot way. I think we learned the culture there was the Patriot way was a guy by the name of Thomas Brady. That was the Patriot way. Because if you look at what's happened to Bill Belichick since Brady walked out of town, and his culture is, I'm in charge, no suggestions, we know what we're doing, do what we tell you to do, yada, yada, yada. I get it, but just if that's the case, then why aren't his coaches successful when they leave? Why aren't his coaches successful when they leave? Mike Vrabel right now, without a job. Josh McDaniels right now, without a job. Bill Belichick right now, without a job. But there's this Patriot way. If you look at some of the hires that have already went down, that have already happened in the NFL so far, Raheem Morris got picked up by the Falcons. That job's done. The Raiders decided to stay with Antonio Pierce. That job is done. Canellis becomes the fifth all-time Hispanic head coach coming over from the Bucs as offensive coordinator with the year that he's done with Baker Mayfield. He will be the Panthers' new coach. Here you go, Bryce Young. Now you got a guy that can help you out. They got to still put weapons around him. That job is done. Seattle's open. Even Brian Callahan, son of Bill Callahan, who's former NFL coach, former coordinator in the NFL, he got the Titans job. That job's off the board. And Ben Johnson looks like he's going to get the Washington job, offensive coordinator from Detroit. Another sidebar as we get into the games in the next segment, too. Watch how you view this weekend with some of these coordinators that are at these jobs, too, because we know they're going to get snatched up. And some of these teams going into this weekend need to really strike while the iron's hot this weekend in the conference championship. in the conference championship game, and Harbaugh got the LA job. Like, these are franchises that probably could have used Bill's knowledge, maybe could have used Bill's expertise, won a lot of Super Bowls, done a lot for the business of football. But at the end of the day, that culture that you had there, it's not working. It worked there because you had Tom Brady. And now they've turned it over to Gerard Mayo. So Gerard Mayo is now the new head coach of the New England Patriots. The league is pretty much saying culture matters and your culture just doesn't really work. The book is out. It's been Tom Brady. The recipe's out. The book is out. We've seen the movie now. It's been Tom Brady. But the outcry that I see is really baffling. Let's not act like that this guy is, clean cut, none with the white gloves on that would never touch a ketchup popsicle on a hot summer day. Let's not act like that's this guy. It's not. And his own assistants left and then went and snitched on him. So, and I was never one that was really big on Deflategate, Spygate. Especially Deflategate. I thought Deflategate was stupid. Deflategate did nothing for me. When you lose 41-3 or 44-8 or whatever the score was when they beat the Colts, I could have rolled up 3 socks and wrapped it in duct tape like you used to do when you used to play football on your knees in the living room with your brothers when you moved the coffee table out of the way, and that was the football. I could have used one of those and still whooped your ass like that. The air in the football had zero to do with the actual game itself. It's like sign stealing in football. It's got nothing to do with it. You can know run right's coming. You can know I'm about to throw this slant. If my guy's still better than your guy and I'm still a prolific, accurate thrower, I'm still going to complete this pass. So that part doesn't matter. So Bill Belichick's been told no. There's been this big outcry about it, but I think it's culture. I think it's his culture. His culture did not work. Brian Flores came down to Miami and he tried that grumpy, quiet, we don't say anything. Everything is buttoned up. No one can talk. And first of all, you can't bring that to a show me city, a party, a celebrity city like Miami. You got to let players do their thing, man. You got to let players be themselves. You can't bring that type of culture there. Yeah, it may work in Sheboygan. It may work in Iowa in college somewhere in Nebraska or Kansas in the middle of somewhere. Big cities, big lights, bright colors, celebrities, parties, award shows, the Miami Heat, it's the Hurricanes, the ODU, South Beach. They ain't work down there. Work up in cold, closed, dreary, snowy, rainy, fall. No sidewalks on the side of the road in a lot of those rural towns up in Massachusetts. No sidewalks. It works in those type of areas. It doesn't work in big cities. Also, another quick coaching thing in culture, Harbaugh to the Chargers. Excuse me. Harbaugh to the Chargers. Incredible. Now, I don't think it's the job everybody was making it out to be. But I do think that it's a great job for him. He's got his quarterback. He's got defensive stars. They got to keep him, figure out how to keep these guys healthy, though. He's bringing in Minter, his defensive coordinator from Michigan, who runs a Ravens-style, NFL-style pro defense. You have Bosa, you have Khalil, you have Derwin. You had 3 studs right there on defense. Something else to the sidebar towards this AFC Championship game. Hey, Pat Mahomes, Andy Reid, there's stories out, and there's nothing I can confirm. But there are people in those rumblings, and I always believe things get out because people want it out. There's rumblings and there's things out in the press that Andy Reid could be retiring. Or he's thinking about it. It's been on his brain. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about, this could be it. You got Harbaugh coming in, Burrow's back, Herbert's back. You have the Bills are still formidable. The Dolphins, we know the Texans are formidable now. People think that Sean Payton is going to get things going in Denver. The AFC is low. Steelers and Tomlin are still viable. The Browns won 11 games this year. Who knows what the bum-ass Jets are going to be with Aaron Rodgers discount double check next year. The AFC is loaded. If there's a year that Mahomes and Reid needs this one to really solidify and get rid of all these other silly combos, and we'll go into more of that later in the show about Mahomes and his run and the way that it's kind of unfolded, all home games but one. And then this year you get 2 defenses that basically that were missing a total. I counted. The Dolphins and the Bills were pretty much missing 11 defensive starters total. 11. Dolphins 6 and the Bills 5. Starters that were on IR or inactive for that game against the Chiefs. That is not what they're going to see. The culture is much different in Baltimore. And Lamar Jackson, I'm starting to feel like this might have been his year all along. But what Harbaugh's going to be able to do in L.A., he's going to be able to come out here and he's going to be able to ignore the bright lights. You won't see him on red carpets. He won't be at award shows. He won't be at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. He won't be at Pink's Hot Dogs on Melrose. He won't be doing none of that stuff. He doesn't care about the Hollywood side. He's out here to put his head down and to work and to get the Chargers, which is so cool because he played for them. So he played for Michigan, went back there, played for the Chargers, gets the job there. But this is going to be a culture change for this team, and it's perfect for the city of L.A. because I'm getting tired of hearing this narrative, and it's not a knock to Dan Campbell, but he did say it. He did express what the blue-collar town Detroit was. Real quick before we go to commercial break, let me tell you something about Los Angeles that I found out real fast about Los Angeles. It's blue-collar. There's a lot of the heat, the heartbeat of this city is the blue-collar people. Don't be fooled by the transplants you see on TV that move out here to chase entertainment or chase any type of fame or notoriety. The blue-collar, go to a Dodger game. Tell me the celebrities you see there. Go to a Laker game. Blue-collar, SC, UCLA, Kings. Blue-collar town, man. Y'all need to give LA more respect on that. The blue-collar people make this town turn. They damn sure ain't the celebrities in the award shows and red carpets, man. That's that for that segment right there with our word culture of the day. We'll talk way more about culture as we get into Conference Championship Sunday, baby. It's the game to see who's going to go play for the Super Bowl. It's the second biggest football game of the year. Come on now, man. All that, I'm going to cut off VJ Said What I Said in Vanity Television.
Hey everyone, I'm Neko Gumike with the LA Sparks, and you are watching Infinity Television.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform.
Shout out Infinity Television. This is Juju Watkins. See y'all.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Chanel Gwimike, and you're watching Infinity Television. Boom.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? VJ Said What I Said live right now. Not live, sorry. Saturday mornings here on Infinity Television. So, let's get to the conference championship games this weekend. Sticking with our word of the day, culture. And I want to dip first into the Lions and the San Francisco 49ers. First game I want to touch into, man. This game right here, guys. Listen, You guys know me. I got stats and I note stuff for days. I do. But you know what I want to do this week? I want to talk football. I do. I think too many times we're just reading numbers and reading stats and, oh, this offense is ranked this and this defense is ranked that. And I get it. But I told you guys when I first got here, I want to bring you real sports talk back. And reading a bunch of notes and stuff, it's cool to have. So what I'm going to do, close it up. We're going to talk some football because I can do this off the top of my brain with these four squads. So let's start with the Lions. Let's start with the Niners. Listen, to me, this is really historic. Last time they've even played in the playoffs is 1957. Okay? It's the last time the Lions won a playoff road game. It was the old NFL semifinals. There weren't two conferences back in that day. It was just one league, and then you break it down to the quarterfinals, semifinals, and then championship, the NFL championship game. Everybody knows the famous, some people call it the greatest game ever played between the Colts and the Giants with Johnny Unitas scoring the game-winning touchdown. One of the most famous NFL football clips of that big-ass flash bulb going off as he's with QB sneaking into the end zone to win the NFL championship back then. But this game has so much history. This game has so much juice to it. And listen, I'm going to tell you right now, man, if you're not rooting for the Lions, go check your pulse. You're corny. You know what I'm saying? Go eat a Twinkie somewhere, man. And I hate Twinkies. That's why I told you I can't stand it. They're disgusting. So that's what I wish you go have right now. Go have yourself a box of Twinkies and sit in the corner and punish yourself. Because this is such a great story. You got to remember, Dan Campbell takes this job, right? And talking about biting kneecaps, and there's been times he's cried after losses. And I mean, you talk about a guy, and the reason why I respect him so much and appreciate what he's done for the Lions and done for football is he stayed himself. Even me, myself in this business, I've been told so many times what to say, what not to say. Hey, VJ, I don't know if I would say that. Or VJ, I don't know if I would touch that. I know the topics that I don't want to touch. I know the genres I don't want to offend. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for cancel culture. I don't have time to tell anybody I'm sorry. So I'll stay away from certain things. But when I am going to talk, it's just real sports and do it how I do it. And now you're starting to see all these former players now starting to come out and be like, hey, come on, man, this dude over here, this TV guy, this radio guy, y'all, you never even played it. You started calling me out. Y'all see the stuff. Y'all all know what's going on. Once again, that's the culture that's been created. But when you look at the culture that Dan Campbell created, number one, let's start with the GM that won GM of the year today. Okay? Executive of the year today. Let's start with him. The Lions have destroyed the draft the last 3 years. They've destroyed the draft. I don't have to name you all the players. You all know. Go look them out. I mean, Campbell, Laporta, Brian Branch, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon St. Brown this year. What? 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns, no Pro Bowl, all Pro, no Pro Bowl. Panay Sewell, Adam Hutch. That little joy he do after his sacks. Only line defender with double-digit sacks and shit with 11 and a half. He probably should have about 15, 16. He either got blocked off or I saw him kind of like fall off of a few sacks I thought he'd have had. You know, quarterbacks are really shifty. You got to watch how you hit them so you can't just go in to crunch them anymore. Defenders have to be so cautious about how they go in against a quarterback now. But I thought he probably could have had 15, 16. But the only line defender with double-digit sacks at 11 and a half. You look at the players they've been in. Jack Campbell, middle linebacker. I thought. Listen, I saw Blake Corum shake him up in the Iowa-Michigan game a few times, and I thought I don't know, but the kid is good. The kid could play middle linebacker. The kid is good. Iowa normally puts in the beef. They don't have a lot of skill position guys. You can't name me a lot of defensive backs, receivers, running backs, things like that come out of Iowa. But the beef, tight end, tackle, guard, linebacker, yeah, the beef of the team, that's normally where you can find really good players, especially out of the Big Ten, Midwest, Iowa, Nebraska back then when they were in the old Big 8 before they went to the Big 12, before the Big 8 turned to the Big 12. But they've nailed the draft. And then the culture of toughness. They don't have a lot of flash. They don't have a lot of flashy guys. Then you go get Montgomery from Chicago, who was a tough runner, ran in the cold in Chicago, ran hard in college, tough guy, plays through some injuries. The culture that he created is a winning culture. It's a winning culture like the Lions. Hey, listen, I'm drinking the juice. Somebody pass me a glass and pour me a big-ass cup of the Lions. I'm drinking it. Because I like this. You know, it ain't always got to be pretty, man. You don't always have to say the right things for the camera. And I think the Lions organization, what Dan Campbell has, he brought that back to football. Everybody's so damn worried of their shadow, so scared of the damn shadow. No one wants to be real anymore. And we live in such a fake society, especially in sports, that when we get real, we're like, I don't know about that. Yeah, but you said you want real. Now I'm giving you real. You don't want it. No, you're so used to the fake. That's the problem. You're so used to the fake, you don't know how to take it. You don't know how to deal with it. But what he's done there is outstanding. You think about the legends there of Barry Sanders and Megatron. Listen, if they get to the Super Bowl, I sign Barry for one day. I put Barry in on one down. One down away from the ball. So if they win, Barry Sanders gets a Super Bowl ring. He deserves. If there's any player in any sport in the world who deserves a ring, who didn't get one, it's Barry Sanders. It's Barry Sanders. It's not close. You can't name me a guy close. In my heart, I would say Dan Marino, but Barry probably deserves it more than Marino because Barry played for the Lions. He had to deal with Detroit. That's like George Brett in baseball. Give that guy a World Series. Out the top of my head, I don't know if George Brett has a World Series, but if he doesn't, play for the Royals, man. Give that guy one. Give that guy a World Series ring. I know they won one maybe 8 or 9 years ago out of nowhere. The Royals came out of nowhere with a good team, won the World Series. I'd have signed them for a day. Just put him out in left field for one inning and say, listen, man, if you can run and get it, cool. We'll try to keep it down low. We'll try to keep grounders. I know you can still catch a pop fly, right? Okay, cool. Get yourself a ring. This game has so many headlines on the Lions side that I love. Now, we flip to the 49ers side. This is the best roster in football. This is Shanahan. This is Purdy. This is who wants some of Debo. We'll talk about him in a second because they said he's 50-50, and they said he's hurt practicing, and it added some juice and some life, which is really telling to me because when I see a headline like that, I go check it, and it's a reputable journalist coming from a reputable network, the Mouse, the mothership. But when I hear that he brought some juice, okay, so then what was the practice like that he didn't practice? If he brought some juice, knowing he escaped having a fractured shoulder. What type of juice was there? I said it when I was on Martin and VJ on Fox Sports Radio last weekend when we were doing our show. You take who wants some of Debo off the field, things happen in the negative. They don't go to positive. I know you guys wanted Purdy and McCaffrey to be the MVPs. You can't be the MVP if you're not the most important person on your team. The most important person on the San Francisco 49ers is who wants some of Debo Samuel. Period. He's off the field last week. They got outplayed thoroughly by the Packers. If the Packers decide to just catch 2 INTs, one which would have been a pick six because there's nobody in front of them and Purdy's slow ass ain't catching them, San Francisco's not even here. So it's imperative that who wants some of Debo Samuel gets on the field and plays. I get that. They got other weapons. They got Kittle. They got Christian. They got Brandon Ayuk, who I tell you, I like Brandon Ayuk a lot. He is formed into a very, very nice, efficient NFL professional receiver, and I respect that. But it also showed when you don't have Debo on the field, you're a lot easier to cover and contain. That's going to be huge this weekend, whether Debo plays or not. Also, too, something I want to point out. They have San Francisco, probably the best left side of the offensive line in football, right there with Detroit and the Ravens. Ironically, 2 other teams still alive in the playoffs this late in the year going to Conference Championship Sunday. But that right side has been suspect all year. Watch for Adam Hutchinson to have a big day off that right side. The Packers got after them, and then also they can also run the football. The Lions can run the football. San Francisco got gouged by Aaron Jones and the Packers rushing offense last week. And there have been other games teams have been able to move the football. Go back to that Christmas night game, I believe it was. Was it Christmas night or was it New Year's night? No, it wasn't New Year's night because that would have been the Rose Bowl and all. So Christmas night, the Ravens go out to San Francisco. They were the turnovers, but they were able to run that football too. They were able to run that football and gouge the San Francisco defense. So that's another thing I look at in this game right here. Jahmyr Gibbs. You talk about hitting on a draft pick. Why would you take a running back that early? Have you put the tape on? Put the tape on. You guys know by now I'm a proponent for put the tape on. Damn your numbers. Damn your mathematician. That's why I closed the notebook. You show me somewhere else right now that's doing a conference championship game preview for an hour, and they're just going to close their notebook. You don't need no damn notebook when you get to this point of the year. You put the damn tape on. The tape's going to tell you everything. Film don't lie. That's why they use it in court. Film don't lie. And the film is when you give the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs in the open field on the screen, or your blocking knocks out the lineman, takes off the linebacker, and it's him in a corner or him in a safety, cancel Christmas. Santa Claus ain't coming. Put the milk and cookies away. Put the women and children to bed. Go sit out on the porch with an L and a cup of tequila. It's over. It's done. You're done. That's what Jahmyr Gibbs built. That's part of that draft class that he bought in. That's going to be huge. Now, this San Francisco defense is loaded. The defense is loaded too, fast, aggressive, probably two best linebacker combo. I'm not saying one, linebacker two, but linebacker combo in the league. Chase Young has been rejuvenated, maybe just being close to home, which I thought was a good thing for him. He's from the DMV. He went to DeMatha, played at Ohio State, and then got drafted by the Redskins, the Commanders. See, y'all got me calling them, people from back home got me calling them the Redskins, hitting me up with their Redskin gear on. I'm like, y'all the Commanders, you ain't go buy new gear? One of my old friends from back home hit me up on Facebook and still rock. He don't buy Commander gear. He still wears his Redskin gear. To him, we're, both in our 40s, it's going to be the Redskins for him. But when you look at the talent on that defensive side of the ball, what they've been able to do by bringing in Chase, another trade deadline guy like they did with McCaffrey, Bosa, Warner, the linebacker, they are loaded on the defense end. Now, San Francisco does suffer on the back end. They do suffer in the secondary. And if you go back and you look at the Lions offense, they are top 5 in 4 different categories: passing, rushing, total, and scoring. Scoring, I believe they're 5th in the league at 27.1 a game. This game, in my opinion, is points. This Lions-Niners game is going to be points. I don't really trust either secondary, but I love both front 7. So the front 7 is big. Also, another big factor in this game, too. There's a plus 10 differential in turnovers for the Niners. The Lions, I think, are plus 2. So there's an 8 turnover differential right there. That's going to be huge, too, as far as turnovers. If you go back and look at the Packer game and the Niner game last week, it's the same. Who turned the ball over? Packers, twice. Who did turn the ball over? The Niners. And that's because the Packers decided to drop 2 interceptions. That was the difference in the game. We could go to this play, this pass, this missed block, this missed tackle. At the end of the day, when I look at a box score, I want to see rushing yards, I want to see rushing yards against, and I go to turnovers. It's the same when I look at an NBA box score. Shooting percentage, rebound, turnovers are the first 3 things I look at before I look at anybody's points. Because once I see that, then my mind goes, oh, wow, 29% from 3. Okay, such and such must have been gunning it off tonight. It tells me that right there. Turnovers, oh, man, who's handling the ball? Oh, they had 13 turnovers. All right, now, but 22 turnovers. Hold up, man. Let me scroll up. Then I go look at the individual. Same with the NFL. Turnovers, I want to see interception. He threw 2 picks. There it is. There it is. You threw 2 picks. 9 times out of 10, you turn the ball over. Football 101, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And this is my own thing. This is nothing nobody told me. This is how I view football. This is VJ Vernon Huskey, Vesson Sports, Big Vanilla Madden, Big Vanilla Football Guru, Football 101. Run the ball. Stop the run. Rush the passer. Protect your passer. No stupid penalties. Stupid penalties. False start. Encroachment. Offside. You know the snap count. You just heard it. You just heard the snap count. I formation. 880Z. Z-drag wet. Skittle left. Donkey Kong. Mario. On 3. On 3. Ready? You just heard the snap. Why are you jumping off sides? Because he don't know the snap count. You do. So stupid penalties, turnovers. Football 101. Run the football, stop the run. Protect the passer, rush the passer. Don't commit stupid penalties. Don't commit stupid turnovers. You will win 63 to 68% of your games if you do that. But 9 times out of 10, there's something always lagging there. Turnovers. I don't care about time of possession. TOP is stupid to me. If I'm a quick strike offense, I don't care that I don't hold the ball often. I don't care that I don't have the ball long. If I'm quick strike, I could care less about time of possession. It takes you forever to score. It don't take it forever for me to score. Soon as we get in there and close the door, you already know it's good. Some of y'all want to sit and talk. And you know, we talked already. That's why we here. We already did the film work. That's why we here. That's why we ready to score. We don't have to methodically move the ball up and down. Nah. Bam, bam, run left, run right. Oh, play action, tighten up the seam. Run left, run left, run left. Oh, fake run right, bootleg back out, tight end on the crossing route. Receiver XY on the deep cross route. Our burner on the bomb. Pump fake this way, bite the safety. Play action, bite the safety up. Outside bomb, 40, 50, 60, touchdown. TOP means nothing to me. So, the way I wrap this game up is I'll take the Lions. I'll take the Lions on the money line at a plus 250. I like the momentum. I like the culture. Shanahan's got great culture too. Shanahan comes from a coaching tree. Shanahan, and that's kind of what I like about Campbell. Campbell doesn't have the coaching tree. He's a former player, played for the Cowboys. Coached under some great guys. Had an interim job with the Dolphins before. He's really had to, like I say, he's had to grind it. And that, listen, I'm all for nepotism. I'm all for nepotism. My son Cameron, who's sitting at home watching this right now, if I can open the door for him of life, what? All day long. And he ain't got to wait for me to die to get his riches. I want to see him enjoy it. I want to see him and Journey enjoy it. I want to see him and all my kids enjoy it. I don't want to wait. So I'm all for nepotism. I'm all for Shanahan if you help the son or make a call here. I don't care about none of that. But Dan Campbell kind of strikes me as the guy that, the guy that from the dirt, guy that from the, how we say, started from the bottom, now we here. Wasn't that a popular dumbass song like 15 years ago? All right. Well, where's the bottom? I can show you where the bottom is. He really grinded. Mike McDaniel, he really grinded. Played receiver at Yale. Like, come on. What coach? Here's a coach in the NFL that played receiver at Yale who's a small guy? And to get to where he is under LaFleur and McVay and Shanahan, all those guys together through Atlanta, Washington, the Texans, the Browns. But Dan Campbell, man, I just love what he's done. And Shanahan, real talk, bruh, you've had your shots. You had Jimmy G in the Super Bowl. You've had good teams. You all want to prop up Purdy. I'm not even going to go back and forth with the whole Brock Purdy thing. We'll just see what happens Sunday. Out of all the superstars last Saturday against the Packers, he was the worst player on the field. Of all the superstars, of all the great players that were in that game between the Packers and the Niners last Saturday night, he was the worst superstar on the field. He had a late game drive. Kudos, buddy. You did what you're supposed to do. Even when you're having a bad day, you don't let somebody ruin 60 seconds of you don't let somebody take 60 seconds of your day and ruin your entire day. So you don't allow that to ruin your whole day, man. You got to the end, did your thing. Nice job. But we'll see what happens when the pressure's really on. It's the NFC Championship game. You got to get to Super Bowl. There's no more Mr. Irrelevant and all that other stuff that's been protective, and you're not the MVP. You're not getting close to it. That belongs to Lamar Jackson. But I like the spread here also, too. The spread is at 7, and I like that for the Lions. So give me the Lions here, not only to cover, I'll take the Lions on the money line. I like the Lions on the money line at a plus 250. San Francisco, go back to the drawing board with the quarterback position, which they won't. Purdy's their quarterback. I get it. But I just love this story. I love the way the Lions play, run the football. Listen, I like points, guys. There's a lot of points here. Lions have a great offense. The Niners have a great offense, but the Niners defense ranks a lot more higher than the Lions defense, and I get that part of it. But some of the prop bets, I try to look at some prop bets. I don't like a lot of the prop bets in this game. Just give me the Lions straight up. And the Lions from 0-16. You guys remember that? They went through a whole season going 0-16 and didn't win one game. That's tough to the brink of going to a Super Bowl. I just think to me, you can't get no better than that. As far as props, now there are some alternate spreads that I do like in this Lions game. I like the Lions by like 3. I'm gonna go Lions by 3. Lions by 3 right now would be sitting at a plus 312. Give me 100 on that one right there, man. That's my Lions preview against the Niners for the NFC. When we come back on VJ Said What I Said, we'll jump over and finish up with the AFC. This might be the best game like the last 3 or 4 years. All that and more coming up. VJ Said What I Said and Fantasy TV.
Hey everyone, I'm Neko Gumike with the LA Sparks, and you are watching Infinity Television.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform.
Shout out Infinity Television. This is Juju Watkins. See y'all.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Chanel Gwimike, and you're watching Infinity Television. Boom.
What's going on, everybody, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? VJ Vernon Huskey here on VJ Said What I Said and Infinity TV. Also, real quick, don't forget to hit me up on social media. On Facebook, you can find me on VJ Vernon. On Instagram, The Big Vanilla Funny, and on Twitter, The Big Vanilla Funny. Don't forget to go to YouTube also, too, and go to Infinity. Not Infinity, Infinity TV. Hit the subscribe. Check out all the beautiful shows that we have here. I host the Breaks on Fridays and also all the episodes here. VJ Said What I Said. Also, Profanity Nation. Some other just great stuff that's here, man. Check out a Big Time Growing Network. All right, so let's move on to the AFC Championship game. AFC Championship game, we have the Kansas City Chiefs, prolific offense over the past few years, 2-time MVP, Pat Mahomes, and Big Red Andy Reid is going on the road for the first time in the AFC Championship matchup against the Baltimore Ravens, John Harbaugh, and my man Lamar Jackson. Now, last segment, I put the notes away. This one, I pull them back out a little bit because this game could be, in my opinion, the best game in like the last 3 or 4 years. It can be that type of game right now. ESPN Analytics and then also Next Gen Stats has it at a 63.6% win advantage for the Baltimore Ravens, 36.4 for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the only reason why I bring that number up is because let's just call it what it is. If it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a damn duck. And the Kansas City Chiefs get some favorable officiating in postseason games over the last couple of years, okay? And there is a official who has a huge differential in road team win percentages when he is refereeing those and officiating those games. Not going to put his name out there. I've given you enough tidbits. You can go research the rest. I don't want to come off as, oh, he was dogging that official, you know, we all make mistakes, things. When everybody knows the right call in super slow-mo from every angle possible from the hundreds of cameras that are in every damn stadium nowadays, especially on the game. But that's why I gave that number out. 36.4% win next gen stats, ESPN analytic percentage for the Chiefs. So they pull this game off, and we're talking about the officiating come Monday. That's a problem. So that's the only reason why I threw that one back out. Also, too, there are some rumors. I don't know how legit they are, but I'm a firm believer, as I've said many times before, people put things out or let things get out because they want them out. They may say, oh, no, I didn't want that. Yes, you did. Because if you didn't want it out, you'd have kept it to yourself. Everybody's got a couple of secrets they take it to the grave. Don't ever believe that someone tells you everything. Your best friend doesn't tell you everything. There's something about your best friend that they did in Cancun or Miami or in Dubai or in Jamaica that you don't know about, and they ain't never telling your ass. They're taking that with them too. They don't trust nobody with that night, and they're not telling anybody. So there's always some things that are kind of untold and kind of, secret. I don't want to go with script or anything like that with the NFL, but you guys know what I'm saying. Also, too, there is another coach here that can send another coach into retirement. John Harbaugh, can be the second Harbaugh to send an iconic coach and Andy Reid to retirement. That was what I was referring to a second ago when I was talking about, stories out there, don't know what to confirm, yada. But it's out there. Andy's a little older. I mean, think about it. You got two, right? You've been to 4 or 5, I believe, because he went to one with Philly, right? 5 straight conference championship games in Philly, 6 straight conference championship games with the Chiefs. The guy's been to 11 conference championship games, right? And then was on the Packers staff with those great teams with Brett Favre and Mike Holmgren. So this guy's been successful every step of the way, every way you could possibly be when it comes to the game of football, especially coaching. And there's some thoughts and some talks and some rumors out there. This could be, this could be it for Andy. Harbaugh could be the second Harbaugh to send one of these legendary guys to the rocket chair by the lake, because my man Jimmy Burger's already sent Snitch Saban. Yeah, he be snitching. Snitch, not Nick. Snitch Saban to his rocket chair down in Tuscaloosa on the lake because he doesn't want to deal with NIL. And sorry, last guy to do that, to make you take that walk, was Jimmy Burgers. Also, too, injuries, I think, are going to be big. Marlon Humphrey, who's been an all-pro before out of Alabama, plays defensive back for the Ravens. He's questionable. Mark Andrews has been removed from the IR list. He is now activated. Of course, that to me was always going to happen. I think he probably could have played last week, but I think they thought they can handle Houston. So what we'll do is we'll just give you another 7 days for treatment, rest, preparation, relaxation, whatever the case is, not being on it. And then right when we need to have you off the IR by deadline to activate you for the game, that's when we'll do it there. So also too, out, but also listed as doubtful, I saw offensive tackle Joe Thuney from the Kansas City Chiefs. That's huge, because he's one of the better players at his position across the league. So some of the numbers here that I do like: Kansas City the last 20-17-3 versus the AFC. So that's something that works in their advantage. Baltimore, though, 10-1 in their last 11 as the favorite, and 14-6 in their last 20 against the spread. The spread in this game is Baltimore by 4. I've seen 3, 3.5. I put my money down on 4, so that's what I'm going to stick with. I got Baltimore covering this game. I just feel like this is Lamar Jackson's year. If we want to rewind and get into the DeLorean with Doc Emerson and Marty McFly and go back in time to a year ago where there were people that said they wouldn't even trade for Lamar Jackson. There were rumors that there were front office people that were telling people, do not give him this contract that he wants. Do not pay him what he's asking for. And all this man is about to do is possibly, in my opinion, will put his team into the Super Bowl the following year. Lamar Jackson hears the noise. He knows what's being said. He knows that he's got to win. We've had, and just in just the last 20 years, guys, the type of running, pocket passer, but dual threat black quarterback in the NFL. Mike Vick didn't win the Super Bowl. Donovan McNabb got there, didn't win the Super Bowl. Cam Newton got there, didn't win the Super Bowl. So is this narrative out that's real. If you don't think so, you're crazy as hell. Your head is in the sand. You live on a rock. He knows this. His teammates know this. The fan base knows this. The coaching staff knows this. Everybody knows what Lamar Jackson, the narrative that he's up against this weekend going into the conference championship game against Pat Mahomes. He's got to get it done. But I just think this is his year after he's got his money. People wanted the man to come play last year, hurt off a knee injury with no guaranteed money. Would you guys want that for the same Joe Burrow? Would you want that listen, people wanted Joe Burrow to sit the first 6 weeks this year off the calf injury. Stop playing with me, people. Would you want that for Tom Brady? No. Would you want that for Justin Herbert? No. Y'all probably wouldn't even want it for Zach Wilson, and he sucks. But they wanted Lamar to come back and play hurt without any guaranteed money. And all he's done this year is just storm through the league and done it in a real common way. This year, I think we all can admit, Lamar Jackson hasn't even really been trying to run like that. He still almost had 900 yards rushing. He has made it a point to be a pocket passer. Also, too, one thing I do want to throw out there, earlier this year, I went out on a limb. I like jumping out on a limb. And with more segments coming with VJ Said What I Say, guys, we'll get to so much. I was telling Jeff during the break, I'm just getting warmed up, guys. Trust me. I got so many segments, so much entertainment, so much creative things for you guys. You guys will see down the line. But I will have a segment coming up called Out on the Limb. And I like to go out on a limb early. I don't care if I'm wrong. That's the thing. That's what's so juicy, what's so good about it. I don't give a damn if I'm wrong. I just want to throw something out there that I really do believe in. If it cash, it cash. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't like playing safe. I don't like low-hanging fruit. I want that tangerine that's way up there because ain't nobody touched that. Ain't no bugs. Ain't no little grubby, dirty hands. Or that tangerine that's like 10 branches up, that's the one I want. I don't want the ones I can pick from the bottom or stand on the stool or a 3-step ladder. I don't want none of those apples when I go apple picking. Give me the tall ladder that I lean. I got to make my way up through some branches. I got to move my way. Them apples up there, trust me, way better. So I don't like low-hanging fruit. So I like to go out on a limb and make some big-time predictions. So back in week 4, I made a prediction that I thought Zay Flowers would end up being, I gave it 2 years. I said in 2 years, we're going to look at him the way we look at Tyreek Hill. Of course, the studio, this is over at Fox Sports Radio, on my other radio show, Martin and VJ, syndicated every Saturday from 8 to 11 East Coast, 5 to 8 on the West Coast. Zay Flowers this year compared to Tyreek Hill, because everybody over there was like, oh, VJ, what are you talking about? I say, dog, I just see it. Just put the tape on, man. He's a rookie. He'll get it. Start off a little slow. Everybody can't come in the league and just boom, 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 boom. It takes time. You got to learn yourself. Got to take care of your body. These teams, they got tapes on you. These coaches, they got tapes on you. All they do is watch tape. They don't do nothing. Watch tape, go home. Go home, watch tape. Come back to work, watch tape. Coach, watch tape. Eat, sleep, watch tape, coach. That's it. That's all they do. All they do is watch what you do best and what you're not good at. So by the time you line up against them, that coach over there, dude, he watched your high school tapes. He wanted to see how much you progress. If he's good coordinator, if he's a good scout or a good position coach, he went back and found some free time. He found some high school tape. So let me see what he looked like from 18 to 19 to 20. How old is that kid? 22? Okay. Let me see what he looked like over the last 3 years. Let me see the progression. That way I'll know how serious he's even is about can I just show him some dummy coverages and he shuts down because he don't get no early ball? Okay, he out of the game. His mind ain't in it. We good. We got him out of the game. There's a lot. That's why football's the best. There's a lot of intricacies. But his rookie year compared to Tyreek Hill, 77, 585, 5 touchdowns at 11.1 per. That's for Zay Flowers. Tyreek Hill's rookie season, 61 catches, so that's 16 short, 593, so that's almost 300 yards less. 6 touchdowns, that's 1 more than him, 9.7 per, that's 2 yards less. So I just want to put that out there. Zay Flowers, hey, this is like in week 4. I know it's just his rookie year, but the guy I compared him to, kind of right there battling rookie numbers. The reason why, too, I bring up Zay Flowers because even with what Lamar's been and how this has been Lamar year, they are going to need a receiver to make some plays. Same with Kansas City. When you look at the Kansas City side of the ball, this is what receiver wants to show his natural ass game? Who wants to be that guy? Because nobody at the skill positions other than Zay, in my opinion, blow you away. Now, Nelson Aguilar is a veteran, and he seems to have been coming up real big lately with big-time catches and touchdown catches late in the year for the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson. So there's a guy that's been here before, been in the league long enough, been on a few teams. Nelson Aguilar from USC, Southern California kid. Like, trust me, this kid, this guy, well, not a kid anymore. He's a veteran now, but he could be big. Is this an Odell Beckham? Do we get an Odell Beckham sighting type game coming up right here? Who is going to be the skill position guy other than Gus and Pachenko? Because both these teams can run the ball, and Kansas City can get run on too. Last week, Buffalo was manhandling them and gouging them. Buffalo spit up on himself and pissed the game away. They had Kansas City beat. They had them beat. Run the football. Nope. You got to show that Josh Apple turnover Allen can be the guy, huh? You got to do that instead of just turning the ball and handing to Cook. At one point, Cook was running over Chris Jones. He was dragging and pulling Chris Jones. Chris Jones, by the way, ever since he got that sack and got that $1.5 million bonus, even against the Dolphins, I didn't see too much. Against Buffalo, I didn't hear the guy's name, maybe once or twice. I was about to put an APB out on him. All bulletins of attention because where's he at? Guys like that can't disappear. But if Buffalo can run on them, then the Ravens have the number one rushing offense in football, and you add L. Jax to that dynamic for them to run the football. That's going to be something that I'm going to watch also in this game too. Mahomes is 13-3 in the postseason. This will be his sixth championship game too. Also, I am the matchup that really intrigues me is Harbaugh, Spagnuolo, Matt Nagy. How does Harbaugh get his defense to match what Spagnuolo's defense is going to do? And Matt Nagy being the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs, him and Harbaugh, I want to see that chess match here because I don't think Kelsey's just going to be running free like he was in Buffalo. Buffalo was also missing 5 starters. Dolphins were missing 6 stars on defense the week before. The Chiefs are not going to face that type of defense with Baltimore. Also, too, special teams will be huge. Harbaugh made his guts in the league and got his start being a special teams guy. They're damn near perfect at it, covering, returning, and they have the best kicker in the universe. That's going to be something else in this game, too. If I had to go out on a limb and just pick a winner of this game, it's easy to say Chiefs because of what they've done. But I just feel like this is Baltimore's year. I like the -4 I put my money on. I think they cover that spread. Harbaugh is 20th all-time in coaching wins, guys, with 160 at a 61 at a 618 winning percentage. So Harbaugh's been a guy who's been here. Harbaugh's been a guy who's been doing it. I know Andy Reid is a monster. He's 4th all-time at 258 at a .2 at 641 clip winning percentage. But this, to me, comes down to turnovers, comes down to defense. I like the Baltimore defense at home to end the reign or the run that they've been on. And listen, if you go back and you look at Mahomes, they don't go to back-to-back Super Bowls. They go to a Super Bowl, and then they lose an AFC Championship game. They go to a Super Bowl, and then they lose an AFC Championship game. They go to a Super Bowl, and then they lose an AFC Championship game. That's been the pattern. They went to the Super Bowl last year. They're going to lose in an AFC Championship game. Give me the Ravens right here and L. Jax in the Super Bowl. Who had Ravens and Lions to begin? But you know what both those teams have created? Really good cultures, man. They have a great culture in Baltimore. Chiefs have a great culture also, too. Look at these 4 teams. All great culture, top down. You don't hear about bad GMs and bad front office. Top down, great culture. Culture works for them. Their players and coaches are going to be able to move off and do other things. Real quick, Ben Johnson, offense coordinator for the Detroit Lions. Looks like he's going to get that Washington job. I said earlier in the show, you lose your coordinators. You got to cash in, Detroit, because you're not the same the following year without your coordinators. Just ask the Philadelphia Eagles. They're finding that out right now. Miami Dolphins might find that out also, too, after losing Fangio. We'll see what happens with Brandon Staley. That's all for this weekend, man. I appreciate you guys tuning in every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. InfinityTV.com. On YouTube, VJ Vernon Huskey. Say what I said. You guys enjoy the conference championships. Give me the Lions. Give me the Ravens. I'll see you next week, and we'll wrap it all up. Kiss and hug your loved ones, man. God bless. Remember, be good, and if you can't be good, at least be good at it.